Good evening. There's a warning of even tougher times ahead for the biggest local authority in the country. Birmingham City Council has admitted that it's been failing to balance the books properly, effectively digging into its savings. The news comes on the anniversary of the prolonged bin strike in the city, which is likely to cost a further £1.5 million. So, what's gone wrong and what does it mean for the people of the city? Here's Catherine Stancheshen.
What a difference a year makes. This time last year, bin workers were preparing to strike over changes to their jobs, leading to chaos on the streets of Birmingham. After a prolonged battle, the council backed down. Some tried to help clear up at the time, and 12 months on, they worry there's a legacy of rubbish.
The problem with the rubbish was an ongoing issue. The bin strike just made it worse. Okay, and they have become accustomed to this sort of living standard where people are just willy-nilly just turning up on the corner of a street, emptying their boots and driving off.
People have become accustomed to just dumping wherever they please to do so, really. The council do their best, but I think it's now time for people to take responsibility to their own rubbish.
The council says fly tipping has increased, but it's the financial legacy of the bin strike that continues too. The council came up with a new system for bin staff, which was meant to come in May. That didn't happen, and agency workers are still being used at a cost of £300,000 a month. So what's taking so long?
There's been a delay because we've got into tough negotiations around some of the detail, but there's a determination, as I've said, to get this new model into operation at the very latest now, the 1st of September.
This overspend is just one of the problems mentioned in a report today from Birmingham City Council that admits that it can't keep dipping into its reserves. The total council budget is around £3 billion. Last year, it planned to use its spare pot of money to the tune of £47 million. They used £20 million more than that. And this year, they think they'll need a further £30 million. The reserves are supposed to be a contingency plan. The leader of the council has promised today not to use them anymore, but that means tough decisions.
Like the clean air zone, we had a cabinet report earlier this week that we will now submit our business case to government in September and implement a clean air zone in this city from January of 2020. It's those kind of difficult decisions where you know that there'll be a swell of public opinion against them that this council has perhaps avoided making in the past.
Whatever these decisions are, just like with the bins, it will be the people of Birmingham dealing with the fallout.
And Catherine is outside the council house. Difficult decisions, Kath, but what might that mean in reality, in practical terms, for some people watching this evening?
Well, Mary, it's difficult to speculate exactly where these cuts might fall. So far, Birmingham City Council managing to protect to, a great extent things like parks and libraries. But could we see changes there? You heard the council leader talking about the clean air zone and the decision to charge some private vehicles. He says it's because of the financial pressures that they're under. One big spend that the council always has to consider is adult social care. And it certainly looks like some of those services could be hit after these decisions. The council leader says they will have to be made very quickly and they could run deep.
But haven't we been here before? The last chance to sort things out sounds rather familiar.
Yes, it does, and we're talking about the end of the line with these savings. We've talked about it before. 4 years ago, the Kerslake Review told the council that it really had to up its game, and we've seen that it has had some progress, but it was criticised for things like bad financial decision-making and bad governance. Of course, the council said that must be seen in the context of cuts from central government, £642 million of cuts from central government since 2010. Critics say, though, well, you've known about that for some time. Why can't you balance a budget? Actually, it's down to some bad decisions, things like the bin strike. The opposition leader, Robert Oldham, saying today that this certainly is last chance saloon. It's time for the council to do the right thing. And certainly you'll see that most people here agree that this really is the end of the line.
Catherine, thank you. An online steroid dealer who sold toxic